I've been doing some thinking and I think I've figured out what 99.99% of people suffer from. And it's the fact that they can't listen. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So I was reading this book that I'm almost finished. It's got nothing to do with it's not a book to do with listening or self-improvement or anything. It's just a book on financial intelligence, which is really important, and I'm enjoying reading it. But one thing the author mentioned was that most people, almost everyone, especially younger people that are, 18, 19, 20, are terrible at is that they don't actually listen. And listening goes beyond just listening to people. I'm talking about the fact that they don't even listen to the world around them. They don't listen to the feedback the world gives them. And what I've realized is that the world is always giving you feedback. It's giving you feedback when you don't like your friends. It's giving you feedback when the people you hang out with are not people you aspire to be like. It's giving you feedback when your bank account is empty after months and months of working hard at a job you don't like. It's giving you feedback when you look in the mirror and you don't like yourself. It's giving you feedback when you feel intimidated because somebody's smarter than you. And it's giving you feedback in a gazillion other circumstances, a gazillion's not a word, many times every single day. And I think the truly happy and the most successful people are actually able to discern feedback for what it truly is. When something bad happens, for example, when maybe it's not even something bad happening to them. Maybe it's a day where they're feeling bad. Maybe when they're particularly lazy, it takes longer to get out of bed. They, go on their phone first thing and they scroll and it just ruins, you know how that goes, basically. The person who is able to see feedback for what it is will do that. They'll feel terrible after doing that. And they'll perceive that feeling as feedback. It's like, okay, I feel terrible, but it's not some magical attack on me. My feeling is that way because of a reason. So what is the reason? Well, the reason is because I went on my phone immediately, I scrolled, I didn't write down something I was going to do first thing tomorrow morning, and I didn't do anything productive in the morning, and as such, I now feel bad because I've wasted the morning. I know I'm wasting my potential, I haven't achieved anything, and that's actually my body's way of telling me, it's my brain's way of telling me that I'm wasting time and I'm not doing anything productive, and then they'd probably be grateful for that feeling because it's steering them in the right direction. How many people do you know that actually behave like that? When they feel bad, for example, they're having a lazy day, they actually take that as feedback and think about why that is. I don't think I know anyone who does that. I don't think in my entire life, out of everyone I know personally, not including role models and people I've read about and mentors of mine, but people that I actually know personally through work, school, family, friends, hobbies, just normal people in my life. I don't think any of them do that at all. Not even one. Zero. None of them do that. And I don't think really any of them, or most people, have any interest in changing that way. So the world is almost split into two groups, except one group is tiny and the other group is almost everyone. It's the group of people who don't listen to the feedback the world gives them, and it's the group of people who do. And once you make the jump, because there is a bridge between the two, they're not two islands, there is actually a way to get between them. Once you realize that you're in the group of people that doesn't listen to the feedback the world gives them, you're already halfway across, because most people don't even realize that. But as soon as you realize that the world is constantly giving you feedback, whenever you feel any sort of unpleasant emotion, that is feedback from the world that something bad is going on, you need to change something, and you personally have done something to deserve that. Obviously not in an extreme circumstance, like if someone gets hit by a car. I'm just saying, in 90% of circumstances where you feel bad because you haven't achieved something or anything like that, any of the examples I gave at the start of the video, that is because of you. And even if it's not entirely because of you, there's a you component that you're not taking advantage of. Once you realize that that is actually the way the world works, you're halfway across, and the second half of the journey is just implementing that new knowledge into your daily life. It's by consciously telling yourself whenever something bad happens, this new world belief, which is that I'm going to be a listener, I'm going to listen to the feedback the world is giving me. So an actionable step for you after this video is tomorrow, or the next time you feel bad, the next time you don't feel motivated to work on something, the next time you want to skip the gym, or you don't want to read, or you want to scroll, or anything like that, ask yourself why. what feedback are you receiving right now? Because this is a skill, and like any skill, you need to train it, basically. It's not something that's going to magically pop up on you. You have to get better and better at it over time. And I want you to actually get out a pen and paper. You don't even have to, you can just think about it. But if you want to, you can write it down as well. And I want you to think about why it is you feel that way. For example, for this, could happen to a lot of you. You might not feel like, you might have a routine where you read before bed, and you might suddenly not feel like doing it. You might feel like staying up late and watching, Instagram reels or some bullshit, basically. And instead of doing that, I want you to ask yourself, what feedback am I getting? Why do I feel that way? Why do I not feel like reading? And why do I feel like watching Instagram reels or anything instead? And what you'll find is that when you actually think about it, you realize the world is giving you feedback. The world is telling you right now that you emotionally feel like watching Instagram reels instead of reading. And you might ponder on this further. You might go, okay, I understand that I feel like doing this thing over the other thing. Why? Let's look at it logically. Which thing is actually more useful to me? Okay, reading is way more useful to me. Plus, I'm also going to go to bed on time. I'm not going to stay up and waste time. So why do I feel like doing this other thing that's bad for me? Well, maybe my feelings and what I actually feel like doing aren't actually in my best interest. Maybe me and everyone else in my age group is actually gets these feelings to do bad things, like, stay up and watch Instagram reels or whatever. Maybe because we've been conditioned to it. Maybe because the people who have designed that app have done so in a way that it is addictive and it tries to keep us on it. Maybe because I've logically come to the conclusion that reading is going to be better for me than, scrolling Instagram or whatever. Maybe I should start listening to my logical brain more. Maybe I should actually rewire my brain to stop optimizing for comfort, because that is the difference between the two. I want to stay up and do that bad habit because it's more comfortable, it's more pleasurable, and my entire life I've been subconsciously optimizing for pleasure instead of actually optimizing for the thing I should be, which is progress, and that is what I'll achieve by reading. Do you see how when you actually listen to the feedback the world is giving you and you logically walk through it, you'll very quickly come to the conclusion of almost any problem you might have, and you can find a solution immediately. It is that powerful, and that is really the two types of people, and I think they're going in very different directions. So before it's too late, you need to jump on top of that. You need to make sure you're becoming the person that is able to actually listen to the world. But guys, that is the video. If you're interested in self-improvement, I've got my ebook linked in the description. I think you definitely enjoy reading it. And I've also got my Instagram linked if you want to message me. Thank you for watching, and don't let them win.